Welcome back. So today we're going to keep working on the 2026 stuff. Now that I remember a bit how it went. Okay, give me 1 second. I should have some music on the background so that this feels nice. Oh, not this background, the other one. Wait a second. I don't think this is going to go into the microphone. Okay. Yeah, so basically, okay, so live stream. Where the hell are you? Never know if there are more than one viewers or two because I'm having problems with ChatGPT. So I'm having this conversation where I wait a second. So they have generated the image here on the top instead of on the bottom. That's why I wasn't able to see it. But somehow when I say to edit the image, then if I reload the page, I don't have the other images that I have generated. It's usually you have here 1 and 2 so that you could go into different version of a conversation. If you had done this thing about forking, open a new thread from this text, but it no longer happens, so I'm not sure what's going on, if you ask me. Anyway, so I have selected an style at dies, and then I have not used some of them. Anyway, let's focus on you know, on what we were doing the other day, Rescatux 2026. So for now, we will implement prepare-config from what the LLM suggested. That way we can mix common conf and specific platform conf, aim at live build. And yeah. So we had these different images that need to go onto the file. So what the hell should go into common packages and what the hell should go into inside SquashFS. So in theory we should have Rescatux, Rescatux development. So this is the last conversation we had regarding how to build all of this in the So I'm not sure if at the very top we have a different, this is the stage 4, stage 5, and the other thing that it would be nice to have is some GG about all of this, because right now I have lost all of the directories that we had around here. So now I think this close. So I don't know. Maybe I can leave this one here so that it's easier to find the other ones. So here we have the Rescatux repo, which is the newest one. And I'm going to show you what we were doing so that I also know what I was doing last time. You know what I mean? So We are on this bookboard 2026 architecture version 6, where we have added a lot of stuff. So we have removed all the stuff, and then we have started to have these directories and added the live build submodule so that we can build live build package from a submodule. We can build live build submodule from a directory. Then you have the specific files that help you build this and that, and you have Docker file, Docker file in order to build all of this. And finally, the Docker file for Rescatux and the main make file for Rescatux. Distro.conf so that we can, modify the distro name and the version, which I think it's the way to go, so that later on we can rename the distro if we want to or whatever, and yeah. So prepare config. So prepare config, it's what this is about, which is copying the different configurations from live build config into these work configurations, which are specific for CD-ROM and for USB. If there is no change, or if specific for AMD64 and i386, if there is no change, we will have just the common ones, and that's it. So basically, we only need the common ones. So that's where we were here. So prepare config. What the hell are we going to have in those config directories? Okay, so that's what we want to have. Okay, so basically root config common. Wait a minute. Root is the top level, which is the config common. So in theory, if we go to the what's the name? If we go onto the Rescatux repo, which where the hell is this? This is not it. 1 second. So Rescatux repos. Wait a minute. This was much easier. So we should have Rescatux repo, and it should be quite easy to find. And so it's not subprojects, it should be here. So repo is regarding the packages, maybe not in new, maybe it's in here. What the hell is this so difficult to find out? Yeah, this is by name, so it should be here. So new Rescatux repos. Okay, so Rescatux repos. So here we have the Rescatux repo inside of the Rescatux repos. Okay, and so according to the according to this prepared -config in root, which is where the hit starts, we should have a config directory. So before creating that config directory, let's take a look at at what we were discussing here on the on this stuff, on the stuff. So yeah, there's a config directory. So the idea actually distro.conf should be in the config directory, so we should have it here. No, for now we have in distro.conf. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's what I wanted this to be. Source dir name distro.conf. Yeah, maybe it makes sense include distro.conf. Maybe it makes sense to include it in config. Although, yeah, maybe the reason why I'm not putting this into the config directory is because this config directory is going to be the live build, so we don't want to mess this around. So we are going to create config, and we're going to put the if I'm not mistaken, this is the common. So common. So inside of common, we're going to be putting the common stuff regarding those packages. So that's what we were inspecting the other day. So which packages from this we want to have here. So packages list, and that. And it's like you can have many of them, but they have to end by .list, .chroot install, .chroot, .binary. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's what it is, basically. So, yeah. So in order to check what we had before, what we're going to do is to load the Rescatux pre-2026 architecture directory, where we can find all of the packages that we were using for the distribution. So this is a bit confusing because because this was all over the place. So we had live config, which has a lot of stuff, like includes chroot, package chroot, which it's ignore apparently. We don't have anything there. Or maybe it's something that we copy there, I don't know. So there's some hooks, there's also the bootloaders stuff, but there are no specific packages that are built there, that are copied there. So that's what we want to be taking a look at. So basically, in order to build Rescatux in the old pre-2026 architecture, we were using make Rescatux, which, as you can see here, had this bootloaders option, these Linux flavors, which we will see later on if we need to specify the packages or not. So that's what we had. We also had this make common, which might be useful to take a look at. So there are a lot of switches that we were using in live config, which we will see if we can adapt this onto config common or whatever. So scale folder, chroot sources folder, and so on. So you can see here how there's this stretch, this chroot and whatever. So we had apt preferences and so on, which we also will have to recreate if we want something meaningful. You know what I mean. So core packages. Here we have something that it might be useful. So recommends list.chroot. And we also have packages which might come from the other file, which is the make common one. But I mean make the packages one, which I'm not sure if this is sourced somewhere. I don't see it. Yeah, make common.custom, and yeah, and there something else. So first of all, let's find out core packages. So these are the core packages. So this should be found on this config common thing, and according to our documentation, it should be found in packages list. So this is the root from something that would be common. So this should be found in packages lists, and then inside of this it should be whatever we want to have. So these are the core packages. So this would be core packages for what? Wait a minute. This would be core packages for, is this saved? So list.chroot. Okay, so list.chroot, which according to this list.chroot. So this would be something like core.list.chroot. And if I'm not mistaken, what you actually want to be doing is to have one package for line. So that's how this works actually. So I guess that later on you could have this thing, you know, I don't know, that later on you can have this thing one line, that this was package by package, but then in the end you just had this thing here. Anyways, let's go on. So packages. So as you can see here, this is Rescatux Media STR, which is, this depends on the media STR, which can be whatever, CD-ROM, USB. So basically this is the domain configuration. So we don't have to care too much about this because we are already putting this thing here, and we should be fine. So list.chroot. So the question is where those packages are coming from. So as you can see here, we have a source which is make common.custom, but we don't have, so make common.custom, and I think we also have I mean, we should have make common, isn't it? Okay, this is make common. So one of the steps should be reading something about Rescatux packages, which, let me see, it's not here. Look at here how we install stuff, additional stuff that should not be there. So let me see. So where are you? So there's these many packages. Now I cannot see it, but there's a packages list, Rescatux common packages. So if you take a look at Rescatux common packages, this should be used by someone, because I say so. So you can see how when you do make rescatux.sh, you source Rescatux common packages, and that's where I think you are going to be defining packages, which is here, common packages. And common packages, I guess that it's used somewhere else, so that it's being used. So as you can see, it's quite, you know, it's quite difficult to follow, but if we have the packages, you know, packages, use the common packages and this and that and whatever. So this is make rescatux.sh. So you can see here like packages is just common packages, and for now that's it. So that's how we managed to do this. But in the end, in make common, this is using packages, which can be overridden by something else. So this is using packages, if I'm not mistaken. So you have core packages there, and then this is packages, which is in turn it's this thing here. So all of this is the packages. So this is what we want to be having here. So yeah. So we will see. This might not work as expected. So here we have a lot of stuff. This is regarding LXQT stuff. So replaces Debian LXQT meta package. Current master package installed too many unneeded packages. Yeah, so given that we are going to be using Debian 12 and that we are going to, you know, do this and that and whatever, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. But the idea is that we are not going to remove anything. We are just going to add the stuff that we need in here, and that's what but that's what we're going to that's what we are going to do here. So these are going to be the different packages, and one by line. If I'm not mistaken, that's how this is done, and that's the way we are going to do. So basically, I'm going to copy paste the contents, and so the first thing is going to be rescap packages. So basically, the rescap packages, I mean, basically rescap packages is empty, so not adding anything. Desktop meta package. So okay, let me just copy. And this is list.chroot. Yeah, that's right. This is all of this is list.chroot. So this is going to be so hopefully, okay, let me show you what I'm doing so that you can take a look at it, and it's not so you know, so black box, so that you can see what I'm doing here on the bottom. So basically what I'm going to do is just copy and paste here. So here on the bottom we have Rescatux common packages, which has all of the packages in one file, and it's not very easy to follow what we are doing here. So this is the desktop meta package. So we're going to do this thing, desktop meta package. I mean, we could call it desktop meta, but you know, .list.chroot, and we quickly edit this so that it only has task desktop. Okay, so this one is done. Next, we should be removing the LXQT package, but as we don't know about this, maybe remove non-needed LXQT packages, LXQT theme Debian, because we were doing some customization regarding this, so we are not going to be using this thing for now. We will see later on. Replaces Debian LXQT package. Because the current master package installs too many unneeded packages. So given that we are not going to be you know, we are not going to be constrained by size. I don't need to be taking care of this. So we are not going. So we just have the desktop one, and we don't need this meta package for now, I guess. I don't know. LSQT additional packages, because I want the oxygen icon theme thing. Although I don't know, if you ask me. Synaptic packages. So this is going to be synaptic, because this is one of the things that usually it's not common, and I want to have synaptic in here. So let's just help me make an enter. So all of this, we ignore it. And all of this, we ignore it for now. We will see later on how this feels with without this stuff. So we can always go back here and say, okay, let's reinstall this thing, because this is not going to be based on Buster, which I think it's Debian 10, or Bullseye. This is going to be based on Debian 12 for now. Then we will do Debian 13 thing. So synaptic is done. GDD rescue. So my rescue. Yeah. So gdd rescue .list.chroot. Once again, I just want an additional line so that this is easier to read. And my rescue package should also be here. So let's just create my rescue. I mean, we could have all of these packages in only one file, but I don't think this is the right way of doing it. I prefer to have many files. So look at that. This is the tiny BNC server thing. So this, yeah, this makes sense to be in the same file. So tiny BNC server .list whatever. So this needs to be in different files, different lines. Nice. Test disk. So wait a minute. Let's highlight this so that we know that we have already done this thing. So test disk.list.chroot in the test disk. Look at that. gparted, which is gparted. So gparted.list.chroot, and here we are. So what else do we have around here? So test this gparted. So optional Rescap dependencies, test this gparted, okay. I wonder if some of these dependencies, you know, it's like Rescap now depends on that. I don't know. Xorg extra. I mean, I don't know. Let's put them here, and we will see how this goes. Because xorg extra.list.chroot. Let's open this up. Let's have one per line, and that's it. So Rescatux desktop init packages. Yeah, I'm sure we are going to need this thing, but we will see. Rescatux desktop init dot list dot chroot. So, oh my god, sanity. So I wonder, maybe those are rescap. I mean, we already tested this without rescap, and some dependencies appear, and I think those dependencies are from Rescatux itself. So here we have some other stuff that we're going to add under MISC, because if they are here, it means that they were not important to have their own category. So MISC list chroot. I mean, we could have the Firefox one somewhere else, but why would you do that? I don't know. X and the ch certificates X term. Why? Yeah, I don't know. MISC. So Firefox. Yeah, I think that maybe Firefox is something related to to Rescap, but I am not sure. So MISC list chroot. So look at that, and we should be fine. I mean, we have taken a look. So we have created these Xorg extra packages, these Rescatux desktop init packages. So we should be fine, and all of this we have already added here. So that means that we can have all of these files in our disk, or all of these packages in our disk. So that's more or less what we want to achieve for now, and we will see later on what to do with with these other files, like remove packages. I mean, we could add this thing like all the stuff commented out, because maybe it's useful in the future, but I don't know. I mean, this is the network stuff. LXQT meta package. This is my meta package, so that everything works as expected. We're not going to add it for now, and that's it. So, what else are we supposed to be doing? That's a very good question. So we have added here some files that needs to go into chroot. We should also have some packages regarding outside of SquashFS, if you ask me, and whatever we had in common in live build conf thing, we should double check it. So these are the packages list stuff that we have created from the old stuff. So let's take a look at what else do we have in live config, because we have a lot of stuff that we should be kind of recreating inside of this. So we have bootloaders. Let's ignore that for now, because this is the bootloaders configuration. I'm not sure I want to redo all of this. So X Linux stuff. So basically what we do is we copy and paste whatever it was there, and then we did some modifications, and I don't know if I want to be doing that. So group theme starfield install, so that we can have this the starfield theme apparently, so that you can see stuff better in group. So includes chroot. So this is the GDM3 greeter settings, which is useful when you want to have only one workspace? Is that it? No, this is the picture for the login page. Is this one here, isn't it? And we will need to double check if this is still the same thing or not. This is a skeleton for having auto start, LXQT configuration, PC-man configuration, XXVC, and so on. So all of this would need to be, so packages.chroot.ignore. So I guess that when you build the stuff, you put something into here, which is the packages.chroot, and it gets installed something. So for now, I guess that this should be serving as a template of okay, now we know how to put packages into the live cd. So before doing anything else, let's just add what we have added here, and we will see from there. So we have all of these files. So added config directory, and that's it. So now I want to be testing that this works as expected. I'm not sure how, but this is what we want to be doing, which is the prepare config thing. So maybe the question is, do we have the prepare script somewhere in the new way, in the new directory where we do stuff? So do we have, so apparently yes, we have prepare-config that copies everything here and there. And so the idea would be to prepare config. So the make file has it. So the idea is that we can, where the hell is this? We can run makefile somehow. Let's remove all of these files from the old time so that we don't get messed up. So so if I'm not mistaken, in order to build this, because I think we haven't documented anything, so in order to build this, you do the makefile stuff. So you do makefile, bootstrap, builder, and so on. There's also this thing about make release. So one of these targets is make. It should have the prepare config thing, isn't it? Because we have prepare config. So make prepare is going to prepare the thing, and hopefully something else. So look at that. Make build old runs the prepare. So for now, let's try make build old, and if it doesn't make sense, then we will figure it out. So look at that. We have many errors, and so scripts prepare -config apparently scripts prepare -config apparently doesn't have execution permissions. So this is not nice. Scripts prepare config, so we should be given some execution permissions to these, and we're going to have a number 2 for this, which is added prepare config number 2, which later on we can squash into a new version or whatever. So here, yeah, the latest one is prepare .config. Actually, yeah. So actually we could like rewrite history so that these two are in the same place, and given that this the hit cap is here, so we're going to just quick rebase the latest three commits, because this should be quite straightforward if you ask me. So basically we do like this, and then we squash this thing here, and we are done. So now we have the commit with the execution permission here. So this is somewhere it should say that this is 755. You know what I mean? Here you can see it, you cannot see it, but this is 755. Okay, so nice. Now maybe make should work. Make build old. I'm not sure. So scripts run live build.sh. It does not exist. Okay, that might make sense. What about doing only make prepare? Where's make prepare? Yeah, here it is. Let's try make prepare, and that's it. Let's see what happens. Okay. So platform. Why isn't there a platform? It's something that we should be using as an argument, something. Wait a second. Yeah, I think I'm missing the platform thing. Actually, what is this doing if it doesn't have a platform? Just trying to copy anything in here. Platform. Yeah, so it's platform equal whatever, isn't it? And the platform is this thing here, maybe? Platform equal. Where the hell I have seen platform equal? So I think I should be doing something like this. So platform AMD64, and hopefully we haven't run something. So in theory, this should have created a work directory or something like that. So we have the config thing, config common packages list, and according to our, according to our thing, we should have, so platform, this is stuff, we should have something like build work. So I'm not very sure where prepare config is put in the stuff. So this is put in the stuff in build work platform. Yeah, so let's take a look at build work platform. So Rescatux build work, and this is the platform. So here you have the config, and here we have an additional config that we have copied because we were not specifying the platform, and that's because we were doing this manually. So I need this to be improved so that you cannot run make prepare without the platform, and the same thing should be happening everywhere, because yeah, otherwise if I try to build one of these, if someone tries to build one of these, it's not going to work as expected. So let's take a look. Let's see what happens in here. So now I can open a new browser. So I go in here and I say, okay, so this is a makefile thing. Wait a second. Yeah, makefile. So my question is, could you improve this snippet, this makefile snippet, so that it fails when platform is not defined or it's empty? It should also point out how you are supposed to run this specific step with the platform attribute with an example. So let's see if this makes sense. Okay, so fail early if platform is not set or empty. Make prepare. Okay. Preparing config, this and that. I should give all of the stuff. Oh my god. If you plan to reuse this parameter across start to define a helper require bar. Okay. Where is this? This is this thing here. So let's try to prove this thing. I mean, depths. This is depending on build life build, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So make file. So apply your optional suggestion with a helper in the make file below. Make sure to make minimal changes and do not remove any comments. Here's a make file, this and that. And scope it so that it only applies to touches that actually need platform. That's what we actually want. DOI, this is the correct minimal, this and that. And I suggest titling this for the validated platform equal platforms. It's not empty. Okay, let's see how this goes for now. And we will see. So should I have used something else now that I think about this? Wait a second. Build work dot ignore. Yeah, so when I did the make thing, it removed this file, which should not have done it. So I'm going to restore the build work.hitIgnore. If it removes again, I will check. I will check it, and probably this is quite easy to implement. So apply only to target that require platform. Make CMD goals equal call require platform. So added makefile. Is this something that we want here? Probably yes, probably no, I don't know. So this is added makefile like 2 with we have this additional thing built in. So in theory now, if I try to run this thing, which is make prepare without anything, it should complain. Platform is not set, usage make prepare whatever. And it works out of the box. That's amazing. And then if I want to do this thing, it works. Has it removed anything? It has not. So this is wonderful. So now I should be able to take a look at here. So we have build work and we have the target AMD 64-ISO with this config, packages list, and all of the files that we have created originally. Okay, nice. So prepare config. Okay, so we have done some of them. So we have created many of them. So the next step regarding this prepare config would be what we are doing with makefile, which is here. So here you can see all of the steps. So dependencies, builder images, config, which is the prepare, and then you have the scripts, which is build. Okay, and the build also depends on the platform. But the thing is that when you do build all, it prepares and then it builds, and that's when you build these scripts, run live build platform. So if you go in here, you've got build live boot, which is the live boot package, build live build, which is the live build package, but you don't have the run live build.sh thing. So this is what we are going to be doing today. So basically, let's go to the nodes and this is going to be run live build thing. Run live build. So run live build. Once prepare config works as expected, we can try to build an ISO thanks to live build and see what it generates for us. Okay. So this would be run live build.sh. So in theory, again, if we take a look at our conversations with ChatGPT and so on, we can take a look at all conversations, and here around here we should have the run live build thing somewhere, I guess. I don't know. So this is build live.sh, build live boot, build Docker images, config generation, prepare config, run live build. Look at that. So we already have this thing here, which basically takes a look at the arch that we are running somehow, thanks to the platform thing. So the platform, yeah, it cuts, yeah, it makes sense. It cuts thanks to the dash, and it knows which arch we are building. And then, I mean, it does not, wait a minute, please. It does not, you know, wait a second. Give me 1 minute, and I come back. Okay, so let's go. So as we can see here, we have the run live build.sh script, which tries to build an image with lbconfig and lbbuild. And if we are doing this right, we should get an ISO somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, maybe not the right place, but that's something that we would have in here. So let's do this. So scripts run live build.sh. So a script run live build.sh, and I'm going to give execution permission so that we don't care too much about this. So this is not right. Wait a second. I have copied this. Oh my god. I have not clicked where I was supposed to be doing this thing. So, this is, you know, this is it. So run live build.sh. So we're going to say added run live build.sh. Yeah. Nice. So now that we have this thing here, we should be able to run makefile and use that. I think so. So when you do build old, it runs make build, and make build it's going to run this thing. So maybe make build with the platform should be the right way to go for now. So it's make build and the platform. So we can reuse this command from earlier, make build and the platform. Let's see what happens. So this is running lbconfig. So we should have the prepare thing that copies all of the stuff. And this is going to probably create something. So, and actually this should be running inside the Docker file, isn't it? Because that's what we actually want to be doing, so that you know, everything builds inside the Docker file and we don't mess with our system. So we are currently not being able to iterate so much, but for now we want to be just testing how this works. Okay, so let's see what happens in here. Maybe we can take a look. So in the old system, I could tell /f the log file. So this maybe build work AMD64. You can see this is the config thing that has our stuff somewhere. Includes wait a minute, package lists has our stuff, but given that we have run live build in here, we also have a lot of stuff that it's been added by you know, by live build itself. So this is interesting to see, because I'm not sure what's going to happen when we run make prepare again. It's going to replace this stuff. And you can see here all of the stuff. So local bean, what the hell is this local bean? USR local bean. So I'm not sure what this is about. Here in .build we have the actual config with all of the stuff, and the cache chroot where the main system is being built, the main system that goes inside of the squash fs, you know what I mean. And look at that, permission denied, permission denied. So I need to run this thing as root. But this is actually run inside of the Docker file, isn't it? Let me see. Scripts run live build.sh. Yeah. Let me double check all of this. I don't want, you know, I prefer to check it myself instead of the instead of the LLM. So basically here we run docker, run this thing, that and that. So basically what I want to be doing here is to branch from here, please. And I want to tell it that I'm having problems running so where the hell is this? Oh my god. So I can copy this thing here. Where the hell are you? ChatGPT. See errors below. I think that the different, okay. So this is going to be errors, and I'm going to copy and paste the run live build.sh file, run live build.sh. Okay. I think it expects to be running lb build as root inside of the Docker file. Do you agree? Also, I think this implies that we need to make sure that the resultant image, ISO or EMG, that it's going to be read later on. It has the current user and group so that it can be read properly. Do you agree? Could you guide me on improving this part? Let's see what the hell does this does. Yes, your intuition is exactly right. I knew that ChatGPT was going to tell me you are right, because that's psychofantasy does. But okay, anyway, maybe. Okay, let's keep reading. So yes, your intuition is exactly right, and you've hit one of the classic pain points when using live build inside Docker. Let's break it down clearly and then fix it properly. What's actually failing? This error mount permission denied means LB build is trying to mount proc, also def pts create chroot, but Docker is blocking it. Even if you are root inside the container, Docker still restricts mount syscalls, what the hell, loop devices, some namespace operations. That's why I didn't use Docker in the past. Your conclusion, your hypothesis, yes, LB build must run as root, container must be privileged, file ownership must be fixed afterward, so you are 100 on the right track. The correct model, important. Think of this stage as Docker is acting like a lightweight VM. This is exactly how Tails does it internally conceptually. Run container privilege mode privileged. Didn't I use this thing already? No, I did not. So that's what needs to be fixed. Why? So I'm quite amazed. I mean, maybe everything that it's inside of Docker it's run as root, and that's why it's not using sudo or whatever inside of this. Yeah, so there's this -e in order to this and that, and avoid -it and ci make files. Improve reproducibility. Next important step, which is the source date thing. Okay. Better architecture. Instead of embedding everything in Docker run, move logic into script. Container build.sh. What? This gives you reusable logic, easier to begin, cleaner make file. A make shell. Final improved version. Wait a second. So the working directory is this one here, and So my question is, it recommends using container -build.sh so that you just do docker run, and this one has the different comments in here. Let's skip this one for now, and we will see later on what's going on. So run live build.sh. So this is going to be privileged, and we're going to be using the host UID and host GID in order to be using this thing properly. So if I'm not mistaken, I already have this privileged thing in my system, and if it's not the case, it will complain. So hit that scripts this thing, and this is going to be number 2, and later on we're going to squash everything because we need to squash quite stuff in here. You know what I mean? So this is what we're going to do. So now we should be able to build this thing again. Hopefully it can reuse some stuff. I hope so. So that this works as privileged Docker run, and if it does not, if it's not running faster, well, we're just testing how this is going to work, actually step by step. So I can go back to ChatGPT to the original code. Where the hell is this? In here, I think. So let's take an overview look at all of this. So we have the step 5 config generation, prepare config, which is the first thing we have done in stream. Then we have run live build, and yeah. So right now we are running live build. So the next step is artifact packaging. So I'm not sure if we are using this in the makefile right now. Let me yes, we are package artifacts. So the next step is just going into the build work thing and take a look at the ISO and images and move them where it makes sense. But so the dir should be based. Yeah, the dir should be based platform. Okay, so apparently when you call package artifacts, you already have platform. No, platform is here based on the directory. Yeah, so we are platform is the base name dir. I'm not sure this is right. Maybe it is. Yeah, because this is the arch. So this is going to have the ISO and the image, then it zips everything into there. So this makes sense when you have everything in there. So we will have to build the AMD USB thing or whatever. But for now, we are just trying to run build live and see how this goes. So now it's downloading a lot of stuff. I'm not sure what the hell is this. Hopefully it does not. So look at that. Contents dash all that shit. Begin scheduling firmware installation. Oh, this is supposed to be bookworm or Debian testing. Okay, I think we are using Debian testing instead of Debian bookworm because we haven't done anything to be using bookworm. So we are using testing apparently, but later on we will have to say, okay, we want to build bookworm. Please build as bookworm. In any case, right now we are going to be building, you know, we're going to test the run live build.sh thing to see how well it works. And yeah, so I guess that then the next thing is to run the package step with the we don't need the platform one, but run the package step to see if it works as expected. So we will have to create this package artifacts.sh file, and we will be able to do a make release that contains all of the platforms. Yes, there is this developer shell thing that probably needs to be run as as privileged, and yeah. Now I mean the ones related to these two ones should be privileged so that we can test everything as expected. So how is the build going? So right now we are using testing, but the idea is to build bookworm in the end because that's what we are doing here. Because right now we are in a bookworm th root, but somehow the default live build configuration defaults to testing installation or whatever. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah. Yes, that's what it is. So let's wait and see how this goes. Okay. Have we no space left on the device? What are you telling to me? What? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah, so apparently home does not have any more space for this thing to work as expected. So I'm going to check out what the hell I did in the past, because I guess that, I mean, I'm doing this in another place, but I guess that live build is empty. Oh, maybe I have not any space because this is running inside of Docker, and I have many Docker stuff that needs to be removed. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's duplicate this thing, and let's create here Docker thing. So how do I list all of the Docker images? So it's going to be Docker image. Okay, so Docker image ls. So I have many more of them. Supergroup, thing, that. So the idea is that all of this is in the home, but I am not sure about this. I mean, I think that the main problem is that I don't have Docker mounted anywhere, and this is pissing me off. This is not what I expected, but no longer needed with Docker build. Wait a second. Let me just check in the other image. Rescatux manual builder. 10 gigabytes. What the hell? Rescatux manual builder? Docker image ls minus u, it means it's in use. Supergroup. I mean, in theory, I can remove all of the, I mean, many of those images that they have around here, isn't it? So, how to list running images, running Docker instances. Because I don't know if this Docker instance is Docker PS. Yeah, that's what I meant to be doing. So the only one that it's working is the build kit build build X build kit Rescatux whatever. So how to remove docker image rm. So apparently you can use either the image ID or whatever. So let me remove whatever I think it makes sense. Build kit build x stable 1. I mean, I have many of this build stuff, so then I have a lot of so there's one about supergroup which I'm going to just not use. So I'm going to just skip one Rescatux, and the other ones, if they are not there, I'm going to, enable to remove reference must contain this and that. Okay, let me try again to remove some of these images. So these are referenced mass force. Okay, so container, so I'm supposed to be stopping a container, isn't it? How do I stop a container? Docker stop. Docker stop, yeah, so because there are a lot of one that is in use. So docker ps and docker stop, which is the build one, the build kit one. So let's stop its container for now. And hopefully this will allow us to remove some images, which again you cannot see what I'm trying to remove, but I think this makes sense to me. Now hopefully it will allow us to have more space so that we can work on this, because I'm not sure about all of this. So the idea is, if you need something, you download it, and that's it. So live boot, live build. I think I already used Dockerfile for build, live build, and live build, manually, but this, that, and that, and that. Hopefully container is using its referenced image 01 whatever, which is live boot manually in use by whom? In any way, let me just double check if I have removed space. No, I have not removed any space. So apparently the space that we are losing is in the home directory. So I must conclude that this is coming not from Dockerfile, Docker stuff, because otherwise I would have seen something, because I have removed some of these images. I think that the space is being taken from where the hell are you? From here. So this is Rescatux scripts, and here in build work we have this thing which I'm going to take a look from the CLI, and there's this .build thing. Let me double check. Nothing in here.
What about cache? Oh, there's some stuff in there, and some other space in there. So this throot stuff. So hopefully, yeah. So we have 2 GB. So apparently I didn't have so much space in here. So much free space in here. So maybe it's just a way of liberating some space somewhere else, and I will be able to use this as expected. But somehow I thought that the Docker stuff was being used somewhere else. So I'm not sure how to double check where the Docker images are being saved, because I don't know. Good question. Default barlib Docker, yes. What about this? It's it's another place, so we shouldn't be having space problems. Docker root there. Okay, so that's unfortunate. So I need to be running K for data stuff. I don't like too much for doing, because we always have these problems regarding how everything it's been mounted. So K for dir start. I don't have this installed anymore. K for dir start. Here it is. So let's use K for dir start in this directory, and I will be trying to remove some stuff. But this I'm going to do this in the you know, in my other directory, because I don't want this to be just so much of a problem. I don't want you to see all of my images, even if this is the only aimed at Rescatux. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is what I'm doing. So Secure Boot VM has like 70 gigabytes. What the hell? Why the hell? Yeah, so we have those big disks. These big disks. I hate all of this. So we have Windows 11, Windows 10, Debian hurt. I'm going to remove Debian hurt because from 2023, because that's not something that I'm going to be using. And I also have Ubuntu 22 and Ubuntu. So I have, what the hell is this? Admin CD. What the hell is admin CD? I have Ubuntu 2022 and I have Ubuntu Live Server 2022. Which one would I remove? I also have Debian hurt netinst, which I'm not going to use. And I also have React OS, which I'm not going to use because I can just use a newer version whenever it makes sense to be doing that. So let's keep removing React OS stuff for now, and this will help us to make some space. Hopefully this is not linked anywhere else, because otherwise I would be pissed of removing stuff that admin CD. I'm not sure what the hell is this. So let me just check how many space have I managed to recover. So we have 6 gigabytes of free space. I think this 6 gigabytes, so this should be good enough for now. And later on we will see what else we can remove. I mean, I have those big disks here and there, but you know, big disk hurt. Big disk hurt. You go to the trash. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's it. So now we can go back and try to build this thing again. Pull access deny for Rescatux Builder AMD64. Repository does not exist or may require. So maybe this is what it says, that you have to have this make deps in order for everything to work. Those are the repos that I have removed. So yeah, now we need to recreate this thing. So what I actually want is to run make deps conditionally if something is missing when you run anything, but you know, we will try to improve this thing later on. So now I wish I had known that removing Docker images wasn't the way to go, because right now this is going to be creating this and that. Okay, maybe we should be fine. Rescatux Builder AMD64. Is there any target in here that make bootstrap? Let me search in here. Rescatux Builder AMD64. Where the hell is this going on? Yeah, so make file. Shell docker run. Wait a second. So -t, it means that it's using it. Shell, I guess that it's using it again. No, because this is the name, so it's make builder. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be running make builder, and then later on we will be able to build. Let's double check all of this. In any case, it's nice to be able to do this. Okay, hopefully this is good enough. And now we can build this platform, which will be running make, prepare, and so on. And we will see if we run out of space or not. So I think it's using some cached stuff. And yeah, so this is going to install some packages here and there. This is from testing. You know what I mean? Let's see how it goes. So random questions are welcome so that the stream is not so boring to watch, and especially the Rescatux supergroup to disk ones. Oh, wait a moment. It should be here on the bottom, otherwise. So this is installing many packages. So I'm not sure what the hell is installing here. We know that this is testing, by the way, but yeah. We will see how this goes. Maybe I need more than 6 gigabytes in order for this to work, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe we can run the ChatGPT stuff for now and see how something regarding YouTube thumbnails or whatever. So we can try to build the next day thumbnail or something. So we have selected. So it's roll dice 10 faces. Virtual rolls. Yeah. A number of dice. Now it's sides on a dice. Number of dice 1. So okay, 5. So 5. 5. Text focus. So I can say something like expand on 5 based on this. Expand on this thing. Description, aim at this, which is going to be with the title episode 13 and yeah, look at that. And where's the copy? So now I can go here and I can say generate image based on a style described below. So the style described below is all of this. Yeah, so yeah, let's just do this and let's see how it goes. I mean, it's not generate image, but it's generate YouTube thumbnail, isn't it? Okay, it's going to be a YouTube thumbnail apparently. So while this generates, let's take a look at this. Okay, so no THTD using gzip. Okay, for the Linux image, throot and all of that. So now we have the this thing related to privileged. So yeah. Preparing a squash image. This may take a while. Yeah. Debian 12 put done. No. Wait. Hasn't it said anything regarding Rescatux? Um, the image should reflect Rescatux development or Rescatux dev. Yeah, and this is because should reflect the port is not done. In any case, it's in progress, and this is a YouTube thumbnail. Hopefully it can fix it, but you know, let's see how the build is working. So now we are preparing the Squash FS image. Maybe I should work on removing you know what I mean, on removing some more stuff regarding regarding this thing. So going to be xart prefix. Oh, look at that. In the text, I'm going to remove some files, I guess, or maybe open in terminal directory, and I will just compress some images in here. How the hell do you order by size? So we have big disk and big disk. So what's the free space that we have? Otherwise, like 7 gigas. So let me just zip many of these files. And I will, you know, rename them. So if the first one works, the other ones might also work. Okay, let me use ChatGPT for this. Something went wrong. Now this is going to be, you know, I'm going to lose. Oh, but I should have an image around here that, yeah, I mean, we might be use Gemini or whatever. So what about MISC? Oh, wait a minute. What about MISC? Stuff. Here it is. MISC. So, MISC. I have many big EMG files. I want to gzip them, and if gzip succeeds, I want them to be renamed. So I would do that with a full up, a Linux. So big disk should attempt to gzip so that it gets, so that big disk is generated, and then it's renamed to bigdisk.emg to zip for now. Give me an example with 3 different files. Hopefully it can understand what I want to be doing, because otherwise, no. I mean, gzip minus key. Attempt to zip creates and removes original by default. Keeps the original. Remove minus key if you want this to be deleted after compression. If you prefer processing all image automatically, what's the difference with this one here? Compressed and renamed. Yeah, I mean, so for now I'm going to I cancel the gzip thing. So I'm going to do compress big disk .sh. I'm going to set paste. I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to remove minus K. And for file in big disk asterisk, which is what big disk asterisk. Okay, so big disk asterisk, which is what we were doing here. And hopefully this is going, let me add the execution bit, and hopefully this is going to work in the background, and it's going to work as expected. So let's go back to our main focus today, which is, and hopefully this pick this image the way that it's everything is empty. It's going to take much less space, and we can move on, but we will see. So you've hit the free plan. I have not done it, but okay. Port in progress. So this goes on to Gmail. Yeah, Gemini. So anyway, let's not focus so much on this. Okay, so this step, which is make build, that generates an ISO or whatever, source stage disable skipping. This one should, this one has, you know, a what's the name? It has it has some generated ISO images, and that's what we want to take a look at to see how they are. So build work AMD64 ISO. Look at that. Live image AMD64.iso.hybrid, whatever. And how the hell did we open these images? I have no idea, because we always open these images like manually. So QEMU CD-ROM build work AMD64 live image hybrid.iso. Is this going to work? So live system AMD64. No, okay. I need something like memory 4 gigabytes. Is that right? So I don't know which is the default one. And probably there are some other some other settings that I could be using in here in order to be testing this thing easier. So I'm very glad. Oh, what development is this? Hi, list links. It's nice that you are here, because I have just seen your message 1 minute from 1 minute ago. So so this is Rescatux development. There's this this is so okay, let me see how the hell I can explain this. So this is Rescatux. Okay, so what is Rescatux? So Rescatux is a Debian-based live CD, new Linux rescue CD, where you have a graphical with a rescap to fix broken Linux and Windows systems. Okay, so inside of Rescatux you have rescap, which hopefully I can show you a big image. So this is what you can do inside of Rescatux. You have a lot of options in order to rescue your system. So the usual one is the UCLE new Linux boot fix. So you recover group, you restore group basically. The thing is that this is based on Debian based live new Linux rescue. So in 2024, I had an architecture which I can show you more or less in here. Uh, One second. Here it is. So I had an architecture with a lot of build scripts, manual build scripts, with some files where, here the packages were defined, and you had the config for live build, you have the live build temporary directory, you had all of this additional stuff, okay, and this was messy. So I said, okay, let's remove everything. Let's start from scratch. Let's do this. Let's use Dockerfile and so on. So I had the lengthy conversation, which is found on the first episode of 2026 list, where I talked with ChatGPT in order to design all of this. So where the hell is this? Is this one here? One second, please. So this is what you can see here as a question. This is the answer that ChatGPT gave me. So what I wanted to have is reproducible builds using Docker, sort of. Then I wanted to be using several targets. So a target for ISO, a target for USB, also to support the AMD 64 architecture and the i386 architecture, because in the old way of building everything, this was done with only one image that has this special ability to boot in any of those, but this makes more complex development, because you need to keep um, improving. You need to hack live build, which is the system that builds this image, and so I didn't want to make this more complex. I mean, I had tried to push this into upstream, but I didn't want to make this more complex, so I just want to make something simple, and that's it. So this is the layout that the LLM proposed me. So you've got the make file for all of the targets that you ever need. You've got a version that currently is in config distro.conf, and here there's this config common, which is the configuration for live build, that later on is copied onto the config sorry. So this is the common configuration for all of the builds, and this is the configuration for a specific platform configuration, just in case you need a specific configuration for, I don't know, for ISO. If you need to say, okay, this is CD-ROM, so you put it here. And we also build as a hit submodule live build and live boot, which is the packages that we modify so that we can have a better control of what the hell is built, because we have Linux support, so secure and enhanced Linux. Let me show you, because so secure enhanced Linux. This should be translated into English somehow, hopefully. Okay, so this is something that exists in Red Hat. I subscribe you, and I will see your ended live streams to understand it, so that I can learn something new from you and keep it up. Appreciate your hard work and also the way you explain it for me. Okay, so this is something that only works on Red Hat Fedora systems, so you don't have to care about this in Debian or Ubuntu. But if you want to recover grep, it messes up everything if you don't have Linux, because you have to retag all the hard disk in order for this to work. So I need to have Linux support in Rescatux, which it's not currently supported by Live Build, which is the system that builds everything in here. And so what else do we have? These hit submodules and so on. We also have builder. So this directory has the Docker files. So instead of building everything in my own machine, in my own computer, we have these Docker files so that we can build the Rescatux stuff in here, and we can also build the live build package and the live build package in its own Docker file. So we don't mess up with temporary directories. We put everything into Docker, and if we need to remove anything, we can just remove the Docker, and that's it. Then you have all of the scripts in the scripts directory, so that you don't find everything in the Docker file. And this is the build directory where, you know, everything, computer networking. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm going to explain you regarding computer networking or Rescatux in a moment. So in the build directory, we build dependencies. So it's like a kind of temporary directory. And we also have work where Rescatux is built itself. And this is, once you build everything in here, you copy whatever it's useful in dist, and it means that you can build dist. You can you can release this. You can take all of the files from here and you can release them in a web page so that everyone can use it. And this is more explanation, and this is the, you know, the LLM explanation and so on. And in the first live stream from 2026 from the playlist, you will find this with nice colors. So regarding computer networking, what there are two things. The first one is that in the old way of doing things, they're going to find one of these days. Where the hell are you? Where's the Rescatux previously thing? Here it is. So in the old days, we had this Rescatux common packages file, and you can see here how I did some custom installation of packages and so on. And one of these packages is CMST. Okay, so this is a where package from LXQT and so on. And what CMST is a control manager for Linux command sys So it's a rough network manager. So it's not like the usual network manager, but you have this thing. And I had this installed manually because I didn't like what came by default in LXQT or whatever, so I had to install this. And you can see how it supports wireless and it supports wired networks. And the other thing that we have in Rescatux is the BNC thing, which is where the hell is this? We thought BNC. So do I have a video of this? So have a nice day. Currently in my country now time is 12 p.m. So now I have to go to sleep, otherwise I will get late for university. 12 p.m. So that is India or whatever. Okay. So thank you very much. Listen links to come by. I will take a look and see if I can show you the BNC step from here. But yeah. So basically when you boot I mean maybe it's Rescap, no, when you boot Rescatux, so you will be able to see this in, okay, here it is. So this is a review that I did, which was not actually a review. So maybe in one of these images, not this one. Anyway, by default, Rescatux opens a BNC server. And that's it. So quite interesting that there's no um, image about this. So probably YouTube video we can find the Rescatux BNC thing. Rescatux BNC. Huh. Yeah, so I should probably check the old videos. But anyway, if I find out where the hell is this BNC thing, I will probably put it somewhere. So yeah, well, so this is from Don Bishop. He did some tests back in the day. So he tried the BNC thing. Hopefully he doesn't mind. Where the hell is this? So you can see here how this is not working properly, but he should be able to log in. So look at that. Where the hell is this? So you can see here how it shows where you are supposed to be connecting, because this was specific setup, because that's what it is. So you should be seeing the IP. So in one of the steps you see the IP, because we have just seen it somewhere, that you can see the BNC IP somewhere. So as I say, in one of the steps you see the Rescatux IP, or maybe you know it. And then, so basically what he does is it just connects thanks to the BNC. This is the remote desktop viewer, so he connects with this, and so it's just a matter of putting the IP that he knows more or less, which is the image, BNC or whatever. So, and then when you run connect, then it's going to work. So maybe I can share this link here. Let's copy it. So this is the demo for the BNC support in Rescatux. See, I don't want to share SE. There's no need for doing that. So let me double check if this link works as expected. Yeah, it works here. And you can see, one second, you can see how it selects the, the URL. It clicks on connect and pop the password, which is Rescatux or whatever. I mean, you could change the password if I'm not mistaken, but I think by default is Rescatux or something like that. So that's it. You have this thing here. So from now on you can continue. So it can just put this in full screen so that it shows properly. Yeah, I think he's going to do it full screen, and hopefully it's going to work as I suspected. And yeah, so now he can use Rescatux from the BNC, and you can recover a system in remotely. Can you please click, because I'm not sure if we're going to see, yeah, and that this is Rescap test, self-test thing. So I really want to see. I think the VNC thing what was the first step. So well, I don't know. So the thing is that yeah, that's the VNC stuff, and that's what it is. So what were we doing? We were running the virtual image, this thing here. So is this live? Okay. So here we have, what the hell is this? Here we have something similar to a desktop. So let me click here and there. Oh, what the hell is this? Is this something like book? Yeah, what the hell is this? So you can run Firefox and this and that, show apps. What the hell is this thing? Terminal. What the hell is this desktop? So if we take a look at images and so on, we can see, oh my god, show open tabs, main menu, new terminal. How are you supposed, wait a minute, new tab. How are we supposed to make this bigger? Maximize. What the hell is this bullshit of UI? This might be the newest default desktop thing, which I don't know which it is. So here we should check if whatever we have installed additional, like Sanity, it's in here, it's inside of the SquashFS image. And so I don't know what should be. Maybe DD Rescue. I remember DD Rescue. Maybe the other way around. Look at that. DD Rescue is here. Then we also had My Rescue. My Rescue is here. So apparently this is working as expected. But I want to understand what the hell has been. Is this genome? Is this genome what we're looking here? This is genome, like genome 4, something like that. Look at that. Maybe genome gel. Yeah. This stupid UI is genome. That's why it felt so weird. I don't want to be using genome. That's why I had the LXQT stuff. So I'm pretty curious to know how long, how much, what's the size regarding these files. So for now, we're going to. So I think we can say that this is a success and that this works as expected. So power off this thing, power off, power off. So this is a success. We have been able to generate an ISO. Um, and so the idea is to just, you know, takes a bit to stop, but the idea is to be able to put this image thing, hopefully, somehow. Hello? Why it doesn't power off? So as we were checking around here, look at that. This is 1.4 gigabytes. So that's when you are using Genome. So the next step that we want to be doing is the package artifacts thing. But I think I'm going to end the stream and start a new one in order to do so, because the stream is 2 hours long already. And yeah, but before doing that, I am going to, so let me run this thing into the background, and hopefully this ends. Maybe it doesn't have something. Okay, finally it ended. It ended the virtual machine. So what I actually want to be doing here is to squash a bit of the history, create this and that, so that everything makes sense. So 8 make file, which is here and here, add docker file, run build make file, add config, prepare distro support. So we're going to branch from here. This is going to be Workborn 2026 architecture B07, and we are going to cherry pick into B7 all of this so that we have exactly the same you know, the same stuff. So now we can compare. Wait a moment, where the hell? Now we can compare B6 and B7 and see if they are the same thing. They are the same thing. And I can rebase like the latest 10 commits, or maybe 15, I'm not sure about that. So basically edit make file. So I want to squash this thing here, and now I should be able to squash everything. So what I do is first I reorder, and then I squash whatever I want to resquash. That way I am okay with squashing stuff. I know that it's going to work the first shot. So now we can push into GitHub this V7 architecture, and that's it. So now that we are in B7, with D7, we can see how what we have done today, which is we have added prepare-config. Maybe we already had it, but we have tested it. We have added the config directory with all of the packages that we want to be having in default, you know, in the full live build, uh, the full live build image. I still want to understand why this is trying to build everything and not why it has installed Genome instead of what I actually wanted to be installing. Maybe the task desktop installed Genome. I'm not sure about that. And this is the run live build that generates the ISOs and probably also the image and so on. But we will see later on. Oh, so the next step is to package the artifacts to see how it goes. Maybe we can test building more stuff. Maybe that's right. So it works for AMD 64 is so pending uh, pending AMD 64 USB i3 x86 ISO and the USB tests. So this is what we want to be doing, and then we want to package artifact stuff. Okay, so that's going to be everything for this specific live stream. So that's thank you very much for watching. Bye.